When you have a question like this, you don't need to waste your time in looking at it twice. Immediately you go into it because it's very simple. I'm here to make this simpler for you. Now, on the board is an indices question leading to simultaneous linear equation. Now, first, we need to do this. This is giving us equation 1 and 2. Now, how do we solve this? In order to solve this, we need to equate the power. Now, how do we equate the power of this? First, you write down this, you say 2 raised to the power x plus 2y equal to, instead of writing equal to 1 now, we need to equate the power. We say 2 raised to the power of 0. Now, according to the law of indices, when the number is raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1, which is this same 1 you have here, thereby equating the power. Now, since the power are being equated now, we'll make use of the power. So it will be x plus 2y equal to 0, calling it equation 1, reducing it to simultaneous linear equation. Now, the second one will be 3 raised to the power of 2x plus y equal to, instead of writing the 27, now we're going to equate also the power of this into 3 raised to the power of 3, giving us 27. Now, since we've equated it now, we're going to make use of the power, which is 2x plus y equal to 3, calling it equation 2. You see now, we've reduced this now from indices to simultaneous linear equation, giving us equation 1 and equation 2. Now, when solving simultaneous linear equation, we have to solve for two things, the x and the y, provided what is being given to you. Now, we'll have on the board, we are having the x and the y. So that means when solving simultaneous linear equation, we will solve for x and y. Now, before we solve for that, let's bring them together. Now, this is your x plus 2y equal to 0, which is equation 1. And we have our 2x plus y equal to 3, which is equation 2. Now, they are together. Now, in order to solve for your x and y as the final answer, we need to use two methods, because in simultaneous linear equation, we have two methods in which it can be used, or in which we use to trash this to get to the final answer. But I want to make use of elimination method, which is the fastest way of arriving at the answer. Now, before we eliminate here, we need to make sure that this first side you have here is being equal. We need to equate this first line here. You can make it of the second part, but I prefer using this to arrive at the answer immediately. Now, if you watch, they are not equal. Here is having x, while this one is 2x. So we cannot eliminate because they are not equal. So we need to equate this to make sure before we can be able to do what? To eliminate. Now let's equate this. In order to equate this, we need to balance it. How? You have 1 here as a coefficient. So you use 1, you use equation 1 to multiply equation 2, and use equation 2 to multiply equation 1 to balance the first line before we can be able to eliminate. Now, what should we do? How should we do it? This is how we do it. We said this multiply by 2 and here multiply by 1 in order to balance the equation. Now let's balance it down. Now after doing this, we need to multiply everything here by these 2 and multiply everything here by 1. Now let's multiply. We say 2 times x, which will give us 2x, plus 2 times 2y will give us 4y, equal to 2 times 0 is 0. Now using the other part, we say 1 times 2x will give us 2x, plus 1 times y is y, equal to 1 times 3 is 3. Now having done that, if you watch, they are now equal. 2x, 2x. So since they are equal now, we will need to eliminate them, to remove them. Now let's eliminate. In order to eliminate, you need to draw a big bracket, adding your subtraction sign outside. Now let's eliminate. You say 2x minus 2x is 0, is out, giving us 0, so it's out. We are not making use of it. Now let's go to the next one. You say minus times plus, giving us minus. So you say plus 4 minus y, giving us 3y, equal to 0 minus 3, giving us minus 3. And you're having 3y minus 3y equal to minus 3. Now we want to make y subject of formula. In order to do that, you divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by 3. So 3 cancel out 3, you're having your y equal to. Then 3 into minus 3 will give us minus 1. You see it now? You've got it, our y. Remember, I told you in simultaneous linear equation, we are solving for two things, two variables, x and y, or a and b, depending on which is being given to you. Here we have our x and y. And first I've solved for the y, which is equal to minus 1. Now let's solve for the x. In order to solve for the x, you come back to the equation. You have equation 1 and equation 2. So to solve for your x, you said put this answer you've gotten here, y equal to minus 1, either in equation 1 or in equation 2. Okay, but I prefer putting it in equation 1. You can as well put it in equation 2, because either you put it here or here, it will give you the same answer. So I will put mine in equation 1. So you write out equation 1 formula, which is x plus 2y equal to 0. So you say put y equal to minus 1 into equation 1. Put it to equation 1. We're going to put it into equation 1. Look at equation 1 here. Now we substitute. It means that anywhere you see y in equation 1, replace it with minus 1. So this is our x plus 2. Instead of writing the y, you open a bracket and put minus 1, because you are replacing the y with minus 1. Then equal to 0. Then you write x, bring out your x, then you multiply. Plus times minus will give us minus. 2 times 1 is 2, equal to 0. Now we'll collect our like terms. When collecting like terms, you take the variable first, equal to this minus 2. When it crosses over, changes to what? Plus 2. Giving us the answer. Now we are done with it. You see that our x is 2 and our y gives us minus 1. Simple and short.